Alright, hello, hello. Let me fix my AC real quick. It is not pointed towards me. Ah, much better. Okay. Alright. Yeah, this is day 51 of studying compilers every day until I land a compiler role. As always, this list always manages to stay the same size, even though I do make meaningful work every day. Or meaningful progress every day. Yeah, same as usual, it's gonna be the leetcode, but then, last time what I did was I started rewriting, the front end to use, like, proper types, and in the process I added a couple more types, but after playing around with it a little bit, I realized that we might run into a couple issues with the symbol table. So, I left off stream, saying that I would think about the best way to go ahead and re-implement it. And after giving it some thought, I have some ideas. So that's going to be the goal of today. Hopefully get that written and then clean up all of the little bits from source code down to the IR. So yeah, it's going to be a pretty good time. With that out of the way, the only thing stopping me from working on that right now is the leetcode daily. So let's get working on it, I guess. And it's an easy. This makes me happy. Okay. So we can exchange num exchange bottles with one full bottle. Okay. So we want res is bottles. Oh wow, I can't spell. You know what, let me, this deserves a screenshot. This deserves its own screenshot. That's crazy work. Yeah, let's put this in general. Anyway. Anywho. So this should be actually we should set it to 0 first, I think. So while this is greater than num exchange, yeah, so we want, oh, this makes a mess. Okay. Let's do, So res is 0, remainder equals 0 for now, I guess. Okay, so we want to add bottles. So the res is like the actual number of bottles we've consumed. So we can add num bottles to that. And then num bottles is now, alright, we need to change remainder first. So remainder is now num bottles, or wait, so we want num bottles plus remainder. So we have that, and then we want to mod num exchange. Or we want actually to exchange. So this should be num bottles plus remainder. Do that, and then num bottles is now to exchange divided by num exchange. Yeah, so we can do it like this, I think. And then Alright, well this is greater than 0, actually. Because once we have 0, we can't do anything. So we can return res, I think. Surely. This should be correct. I hope this is correct. That's a good start. Yeah, okay, perfect. That was a quick little problem. Is there a pretty way to do this? Optimize simulation. Oh, wait a second. Wait, is it? Wait. What is K? Oh. Oh, interesting. That's really cool. Okay, that makes reasonable sense. Okay, anyway, this problem is never gonna show up, I think. If it does show up, then, like, unlucky, I guess, but, yeah. Anyway. Now that's done. Yeah, we're done with the leetcode, so now we can do this whole rewrite shenanigans. Yeah. So let's find directory. Okay. So what was my idea for this again? I guess I was gonna add another data structure to symbol table. Yeah, and that will handle scopes, and it will be like scope symbol table. What's good, Janine? Thanks for tuning into the stream. Hopefully you're doing alright. So we have scope symbol table. And this is a new class. Okay. So add symbol. Get ID. I don't think we need one of these, actually. I don't think we need... We don't need... we might need get symbol, actually. We might need everything. Okay. Anyway. I think we can just copy over the interface here. I don't think we want toString, though. That's a little bit annoying to implement. Appreciate the hearts. Okay, so... Okay, we want private fields. This takes... want a map from... We need scope, so we should forward declare that, because we can't really just import AST instructions, because that will be circular. And scopes only exist in the AST, so this is fine. Yeah, so we can do namespace AST and then class scope, I think. What's wrong here? Oh, this is in the wrong place. There we go. So this is from scope footer to a symbol table. Yeah. So I'm gonna do it like that. Yeah. And then this will be... I don't think we need unique pointers here at all, actually, which is the other really nice thing. Yeah, there's no like polymorphism business. We can kind of just pass it around, I think. So it should be pretty cut and dry. So this is scopes, and then we want a symbol table footer, and this is global scope. So that's the base scope. Yeah. I think we also need a map for like parent scope or something. I don't Real quick, I need to head to the bathroom real quick, so yeah, that's going to be a quick second, but I'll be back shortly. Keep yourselves entertained, and like, don't burn down the house, I guess, okay? Yeah, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, thank you all for tuning in. If you just stopped by while I was in the bathroom, yeah, we've done the leetcode already. Right now we are adding a scoped symbol table, because we need a way to deal with scopes with types. So our previous sort of pile worked sufficiently for, I guess, it works efficiently for just like generic, whatchamacallit. I'm really struggling to think of the word. It works fine for just singular types, or like if there was just one type, but we're running into a little bit of an issue here now. Just based on, actually, there's a test I never wrote. I just realized that I need to, yeah, I need to add that real quick. There's two test cases that I'm worried about right now. I guess one big test case. Or I guess, yeah, we can assume two test cases. The first one is, so we have like the global scope here, so like int I equals 1, and then in another scope we have like we have a different type of I. So currently the way shadowing works is like each scope gets adds an identifier, or it adds like it adds a type qualifier, but yeah, it adds a scope qualifier to it. So this becomes like I1, and then if like we make int I here, this becomes I2, for instance. The problem arises here. So like before that point, we kind of make a mess with shadowing, and the case I'm worried about actually is not this one. It's so if we have two scopes that are at the same level, and then one of them makes like int I, and then this one makes float I, for instance. And the problem is now they live in the same scope level, they have the same name, but they have different types, which means we have a collision of some sort. Do you have debugging script? Also using templates. I have regression tests set up to some degree, and I have my debugger set up, but I don't have like, I don't really have anything formal for that. I'm not using templates yet because I don't really need to yet. If a use case comes up for that, and I'm already thinking of one that could be interesting, just replacing dynamic cast with like a template-based sort of cast. Sort of like what LLVM does. But unless I like absolutely need it, I think I'm gonna try and stay away from templates for now at least. They just add a lot of complexity that I don't really understand yet. Yeah, that's kind of the short answer, for better or for worse. Yeah, this will, let's see. Do I need all these types? I think all these functions are necessary. What's good, Yusuf? Welcome back to the stream. Are there any ways that application level programmers can use operators that are very familiar to compilers and can make programs fast? I think honestly, I feel like modern compilers do a lot of the optimizing legwork already. So I don't really think that's something that you need to like proper worry about unless you're like really doing something funky or you want like really specific behavior. But at that point, I feel like that's kind of just a case-by-case basis. Like for instance, like a common example of an operation that's slow that you can replace with something fast is just like bit shift. It's like replacing a divide by 2 with like shift right by 1. But I think most production compilers already make that substitution for you, so it's like kind of eh. I think the biggest place that compilers struggle right now are with like dealing with memory and then dealing with loops. Those two are like the biggest places that research focuses on right now. So I guess being careful about how you write those is probably imperative. If you can make guarantees on memory that sort of make it easier to figure out aliasing, so like do 2 pointers point to the same memory address. Because like if they point to the same address, then that blocks a lot of optimizations actually, or at least having to assume that they do blocks a lot of optimizations. So if you can like add a hint, there was a keyword for this. I forgot. It's the one that's famously only in C but not in C++. But yeah, if you can provide some sort of hints to the compiler that that 2 pointers don't alias, then that unlocks a lot of optimizations, at least to my knowledge. I could be a little bit wrong about that. If anyone knows, please correct me in chat. But that's just like one example. But for the most part, like if you're looking for like really small things, I think I don't think that's really something to worry about because production compilers usually handle them already. I love micro optimizations, but low level concepts, not that familiar. Heard of a lot of things about shifting and use operators in a way to speed up things underneath. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Another really big place is like if you mark things as const in C and C++. I don't remember if C has const, but C++ definitely does. Or like, that's also why like Rust code is like as performant as it is, because everything is immutable by default. So you can do a lot more optimizations around that at least. We also here we need to keep track of previous scope, I think. So we want another scope putter. Okay, yeah. Nailed him, nice choice. Thank you. It's the only choice. Currently using Go. Rust eats my mining concurrency. Yeah, fair enough. Different languages, different purposes. I will say Rust is like... I feel like the only reason to use Rust, other than just like the general memory safety stuff everyone points to, is just concurrency. So that could be worth learning just for fun. Planning to try Zig soon? Yeah, let me know how that goes. I've heard good things about Zig. I haven't actually gotten a chance to use it yet, so yeah, that'll be a good time, I guess. We don't need global scope actually. Yeah, we can just do it like this. Okay, so now we need to implement all of this, which I think is still a bit of a mess. Okay, so let me just review this stuff because the use case for the singular scoped symbol table has changed a little bit. We can figure out what to do with this thing later. Yeah, still need this. If it's not the same type, then that, yeah. Otherwise, we return the ID, that makes sense. And then everything else, we just set the map, okay. Everything else is like about right. Yeah, okay. The only thing I don't have duplicated over is toString because I just low-key don't want to implement it. So I don't think we need the toString here, to be honest. We can kind of get rid of it and save a little bit of space. Mostly because it just annoys me that these two are not pair. But yeah. So we also need to change this interface a little bit actually, because I think we need to provide it a scope as well. Scope putter, scope. So we need to get ID, and then we need to pass in scope again. Symbol, we also need to pass in scope. Yeah, this has become quite important all of a sudden, which really sucks, but we kind of have to do that. Yeah, okay. I'm working in cyberspace. Rust is safe, but totally depends on the developer. We'll have unsafe code, but more secure code going. Interesting. I feel like... honestly, I can't even say anything because most of the Rust experience I have is also unsafe Rust, so like... it happens. Yeah. Me doing Python on the side feels newbie? Not really. I mean... I'm a strong believer of like different language, different purpose. So like Python has its place, especially in just like moving fast. Like for instance, like moving fast and having a low barrier to entry. So like my esports club's Discord bot is written in Python because I wanted it to be easy for other people to pick up, and also I wanted it to be like not a mess to write and not a mess to debug. Python's library support is also like pretty good, to be honest, is the other thing. Yeah, I'm just writing boilerplate right now. This sucks. Okay, so we clean that up. Alright, let's do this one. So we kind of just want to iterate through the different scopes, which is annoying, but we kind of have to deal with it. I guess like, we also want like, I guess we could also get rid of this toScope symbol thing as well, because we will need to, that's implicit in scope symbol table, and we will add a unscope symbol, I think, because the default will be scope symbol. I'm fairly sure. So here we want a scope symbol. And we also need to copy this down as well. Yeah, a lot of, like, Python is just so useful in so many different places. It's quite useful. Not doing CS, just the medical student. Oh, lovely. Yeah, I think Python makes perfect sense then, actually. Again, like, you don't have to, like depending on what you're doing with a programming language, I think like that affects like the requirements you look for in a language a lot, right? So like for someone that's like really deeply into computer science, like very performant languages are important because like what they care about a lot is just performance. But like if you're just like using it for like data analysis or like running running like small jobs, for instance, simulations you probably care about performance, but for like small things that aren't necessarily like where performance isn't a strict concern, I think usability matters a lot more because I remember when I was like taking our programming languages class, and like the thing the professor would always say is that programming languages are made for people at the end of the day. So like it doesn't matter like how fast your programming language is if it's annoying for someone to use, right? So like bottom line is don't kick yourself for using Python. Everyone's at their own pace, and like if it serves your use case, then like I think that's all you really need from a programming language. That's good, Skittles. Good to see you today. Yeah, thank you for being part of the 1,000 subs. No worries on missing it. Okay, how do I want to add a symbol? So we want a scope. Yeah, so the scope needs to exist, I think. We also need to do an add scope, I think. Yeah, we need to add scope. I think I should make a separate section of just like things unique to this. Or actually no, that makes a mess. I want to add scope. A scope footer. Yeah, the rest of this seems pretty reasonable. The most impressive I did with C++, 3 PRs, and I'm not familiar with that library. Oh wait, that's quite neat actually. Wow. Yeah, that's good stuff. That definitely hard mogs me, not gonna lie. Exam season kicking in, yeah. It's quite fast. Yeah. Yeah, like my school's on the quarter system. So once midterms start, they kind of just never end. So, yeah. Lua API? I mean, that's still really cool though. Like, just having like code in some like real project, I think, means a lot to me at least. Yeah. So we want. Okay, we want table. So we want the scope table, or the table of the scope. So we want scopes at scope. And then if it doesn't exist, then like that should probably error. So we want to return scope table add symbol, and we want to pass in symbol and then type, I guess. Yeah, we can do it like this. Actually, no, we want to do it differently. Okay. I think we should implement has symbol first, actually. This one will clean up the logic for everything else. So let's start with, let's steal that. So we can do this. Or we can even do like cur. And then while cur not equals or. So while prev scope okay. So while this contain, how do we DFS through this properly? Or even just like backtrack through this properly rather. Okay. So we want the current scope, and then I guess like while cur exists. So while this exists, we want so if scope or if cur has symbol, we can return true. This is a putter, right? What type is this? We want reference to that? This is an arrow? Okay, perfect. Yeah, because we don't want to make a copy. Yeah, so we can do that. And then if we don't find it, then cur equals prev scope at cur. What? Why doesn't this work? What type is this? Should be a putter? Or wait. Oh wait, I see. Yeah, okay. I'm doing this wrong. So this is fine. Cur should be dot. Right? No, this should be a reference. We can do that. We want. Let's set. Or we actually want while scope actually. So we can do that. And then we want scope equals prev scope per. So we can do that. And then if it's a null pointer, then we can just return, I think. Yeah, then we can return false down here. Okay, this will be quite important for us actually, I think. In the past exams have been crammed together, got kind of lucky this semester, them being fairly spaced out. That's nice. Well, I think I have like 1 or 2 every week, which is kind of how it is. Yeah, Calc 2 and discrete math on the same day is quite tough though. What do compiler rules look like? How many are even out there? I'm not exactly sure how many are out there. It's definitely less than like any of the other more mainstream developer rules. But they all pretty much involve contributing to some company's compiler infrastructure. Whether it's like the Swift compiler, for instance, or like NVIDIA's CUDA compiler, or even just like more proprietary toolchains, for instance. There's a lot of places. Like there's a surprisingly high number of places where people need compiler stuff, at least. Actually, we should. So, So this contains scope, then return scopes at, or we want scopes at scope or wait, has symbol. It should be symbol. We don't actually need this. Actually, do we need this? We should probably keep it like this anyway because recursion is slow. What the fuck happened? That's not ideal. Okay, well, Neovim just crashed, which is a new one. I can't say I've seen that before. Okay, anyway, where were we? I think, yeah, we still had this, so this was fine. I guess that might be proprietary toolchains, but have really limited knowledge. Yeah, of course, let me know if you have any other questions about anything related to what I'm doing. What kind of class are you in right now? I'm taking OS right now, taking game dev. I'm taking deep learning, and then I am taking like a intro to astronomy course because I thought it was cool. There's not really any other reason here. Okay, so we wanna, I think we want another like find scope of or something like that. Or we could do it. This actually makes a lot of sense, I think. Okay, so we want, let's see. It's tough workload. Honestly, I feel like it's pretty manageable, to be honest. Like a lot of things are project based, which cuts out a lot of the stuff that I have to deal with, I think. Yeah, OS is definitely something, but it's been interesting. I feel like I can reason about it pretty easily compared to most people, just because like I'm kind of used to thinking about code at a relatively low level, but also it's been like 2 or 3 weeks, so like Lord knows. Well, ask me again in 3 weeks and we'll see how I feel about that sentiment, at least. Okay, how do we want to implement this? So we want to do that. We want to return cur get type, then we give it ID. Oh, this doesn't have. Oh, wait, we need to. Okay, we might need to add something to the original symbol table real quick. We might need to add a bool has ID. And this should be int64 t ID. This will be useful for our other stuff here. DSA is project-based, yeah, that's, I think, the only reasonable way for a DSA class to end up, to be honest. I feel like if it's not project-based, then it's like, what are you really doing, right? So. I mean, architecture and object-oriented, ooh, yeah, those are pretty fun. I never got to take architecture. I just ran out of time to take the prereqs, and I really regret it, to be honest, but that's how the cookie crumbles, I guess. Object-oriented stuff is kind of just, I feel like that's like less valuable than people make it out to be, just because like you kind of end up learning it on your own anyway, so. We can do that. I don't think we need has symbol at all, honestly. I don't really like using this. So I might just get rid of it there at least, but for the base one we might need it. Yeah, and that'll also help trim a little bit of the fluff here. So if it has ID, then we want to return. We're gonna get symbol or get type from ID. Yeah, we can do that. We can just get like a not found, I think. Okay, well, maybe I was wrong actually on second thought. We might need to have these, unfortunately. So let me just add those back. Symbol table has ID. Let's write that. And we want ID and then see scope. And scope in all of these parameters is the starting scope at least. So yeah, this is quite important at least. Okay, so we want this, and then her has ID, then we can return true. We can do it like that. Yeah, it's like still useful to learn about object-oriented programming stuff because there's like design patterns and stuff. It's also quite important for like working with most code bases. So like, it's not all a waste. It's just like a little bit. It's just a little bit like why, you know. I can do that. What's wrong here? Oh. Arrow. Down here we want to throw something, I think. Yeah, so we want to string ID to get that as like a word. We want like what? ID not found. Or I guess like, yeah, we want no type found, no symbol found for ID that. We can do it like that. That's how we handle missing. What's good, Zian? Welcome to my stream. Yeah, I'm using Western Maneuver because my laptop is running Arch, but I have a Valorant addiction, so I need to run Windows here. And so also I'm running WSL, but then I can just port over my config and stuff, which is quite nice. Here we can get symbol, do that, and we plus. It's like we can even like print pointer. Okay, so we need to cast it to a void pointer, I think. Void putter, and then cur, I think. We're just gonna, or we can even like static cast, right? Void static cast. To void putter, I'm gonna give it scope or cur, right? No, we want to give it scope. Scope. Yeah, okay. Why doesn't this work? Yeah, okay. Why doesn't this work? Are you using split keyboard? I am not. I'm using a Keychron V3 right now. Print void pointer address. Reinterpret cast, man. I just like reinterpret cast this. Do you like those AI overviews that comes up when you Google stuff? Sometimes. Sometimes they're nice. Very frequently they're not useful. What do we want to reinterpret cast this to? Size T? Okay, so now we want stood to string. And okay, this works for some god-awful reason. Don't worry about it. What happens if I just throw in scope here instead? Okay, that doesn't work, so we can just do this, I think. Yeah, okay. These will throw out some really ugly numbers, but that's kind of the price we have to pay. If we want scopes to be consistent, I think. Actually, we don't want get scope symbol. We want like unscoped symbol, I think. We can change that as well. Yeah, okay. So we don't need the plus here, but we want, so we need this in get symbol. We want that. And then what's wrong here? Oh, we get unscoped scope symbol. Really? There we go. Okay, so here we don't need that line anymore. We can just return that, which is a little bit less ugly. We need to do something more complex there, I think, but we're pretty close to done. Get ID, we need to do the same yucky thing here. We need this. Let's just throw it up here. And then, yeah, I know this is a lot of duplicative code, by the way, but I don't really see a great way around that. Unless I want to like write macros, which is annoying. As symbol. Let's give it symbol. Want to. Yeah, this might end up really slow, but I'll make it faster when the time comes. I don't think we need get ID, to be honest. Yeah, I don't think we need this. If we need it, I'll add it, but yeah, I don't really think we need it. Is this used anywhere else? No, it's not. This one I can leave because it's like pretty easy, but okay. Alright, last one we need to implement here is this thing, add symbol. This will be a little bit of a mess, I fear. So we can steal the has symbol logic, I think. Oh wait, no, this doesn't work. I just realized all of this doesn't work because we're gonna have like ID overlap, I think. Oh, fuck. And there's someone just honking their horn outside to make it better. Okay, well, what do we do here then? Yeah, that overlap thing is actually gonna cause a really big problem. We might just need to like make one big structure here, I think. What compiler are you using to compile this? I think I've been bouncing between GCC and Clang. There's not really any reason for me to pick one over the other right now. It's kind of just like a convenience thing. I think I'm using GCC just because it's default. Oh, but okay, we're gonna need to. Let's just copy all of these over to template, like temp symbol. Let's do CP to. Let's just keep this in case I need to come back to this. And then I think we try to restart it though. Okay, perfect. I think the best way to do this now, after realizing that there is an issue with that collision thing, is because like each symbol table has its own counter, that might make a mess. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna make one giant new symbol table abstraction. And then it might have scopes. If it doesn't have scopes, then it just has one global scope. And it's like a little bit hacky, but I think it's fine. Because that is kind of what getting rid of scopes does at the end of the day, right? It's just we treat every scope as the same scope. Okay. So we want. Actually, let's redesign this from the ground up. Two scope symbol is a little bit stupid. Okay, so we want a next ID. What the? Okay, great. Thanks. Do that. Yeah. Yeah, I made this once thinking I wouldn't have to make it again, and then it turns out past me was very bad at making good assumptions, so unfortunately we are back here making it all again. So we want next, or I guess like next ID. We also want to forward declare the thing again. Yeah, we want to forward declare scope again because we kind of need scope in some degree. This is a little bit scuffed, to be honest. What do I even do about like global scope? I guess we could just make that with like scope equals null pointer, I think. This feels really wrong to, I guess, do like this. The other way I could get around this is I could make a constructor that just takes a counter, and then we keep a counter internally, and then like that goes to everything else. I feel like there's got to be a better way to do this though. So, okay, what we could do is we could we could keep scope as like a null pointer optionally. Ah, this really sucks. This actually sucks so much. Okay, yeah, I think that might be the least awful way to do it. Designing data structures is hard. This is actually like the most difficult thing I've had to do in a while. So we want to add a symbol, and then we want a scope, I think. Or we could make this like a void pointer, but like that sounds just as bad, to be honest. So we want add symbol at a minimum into a scope. Or we could just like do a make atom helper even. And that gets around this whole mess, I think. Yeah, actually, that sounds pretty helpful. Yeah, let's make a atom identifier or unique footer of that type. Make identifier, and we need to give this a string symbol, and then we want like scope or scope. Does Automata actually help in building compilers? I'm not familiar with that. If you're talking about like automated processes like CI/CD, or like automated testing, I would say yes, because it helps you protect yourself from making mistakes at least. We need to include memory. Oops. There we go. There we go. We need... This has become a very unwieldy mess very quickly. What's wrong here? What dependency order do we want to include here? Let's just for declare symbol table here. There we go. Okay. And then that also, this is fine, right? Yeah, okay, this is broken for reasonable reasons. Let's get rid of that text. Okay, cool. So this is fine. We want to forward declare this like that, so we don't have to make a mess out of it. We can do this. We can also do one that's just, or this is like scoped identifier. This should just be make identifier. Or we could do like a scoped version and an unscoped version of everything. I think that will solve a lot of the mess. We only care about like reading things insofar as like we need to make atoms out of them, I think. Yeah. So we need next ID, and we want oh, automata theory, I see. I mean, it's probably useful to some degree. I haven't looked into it a lot. Yeah, I'd have to like look into it more before I give like a more comprehensive response at least. Initially, I feel like it's useful, but also not really necessary, just because programming languages are like very formally defined. So like, I don't think it'd be like that useful, at least in this field. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff I just don't really know, so I don't really think I can give like any sense of a useful answer, at least. We could start with this, right? Yeah, we can just start with this as the interface. We can clear all of this out. We can clear this as well. Do it like this, and then we want to steal some of the private fields from here, right? We want ID to symbol, ID to type, or like, we want an ordered map from int64t, and then we can store actually like stood pair, because that might take up a little less space, I think. I could be wrong, you'd have to double check, but I'm gonna give this a try because I feel like it makes the code a little bit more readable. Or you could even like type def here. So we can like using we want symbol data equals stood pair of string and then type. We can do it like this even, and then we can change this out to symbol data ID to data, I guess, like something like this. How long were you programming for before you started to study compilers? I took our school's compilers course about 1.5 years into writing like substantive code. I would probably recommend a little bit later because I feel like I wasn't fully matured as a programmer yet up until that point. Yeah, I think there's just like a lot of background knowledge that's necessary, I think, to truly appreciate everything that happens. But that's just my take, at least. Okay. Yeah, so we can make identifier here. Yeah, okay. So I think now we can get rid of this, and if we need to add more stuff to it, I think that will resolve itself as we go. Yeah, let's start cleaning this up. So let's start implementing things. We just need these two, I think. So this is symbol table. Oh, we also need to account for scopes, I just realized. So we can deal with this one later, but this is our top priority. Yeah, I will say this entire stream has been a little bit of me just like fumbling around because I don't really know what I want to, I guess, do with all of this stuff. So, yeah, we'll have to figure this out as we go. Okay. So we want int64t id. So let's just like set this off the rip. Next id plus plus. Yeah, let's do it like that, and then what other use cases do we need anyway, right? We need to be able to read from it, I think. Yeah, I guess we can just like add things to it as we walk down like parsing to being a human again. I think this is like the minimum we need for parsing at least, or at least like this section. Maybe we don't even need this yet, so I'm gonna comment that out. Just throw it like that. There we go. Alright, next ID. So we have the ID. And then and it needs to come from the scope? I guess that's implied, huh? Yeah. So then, I'm trying to think what the data layout for this is supposed to look like. It's in a reasonable way. I'm like getting lost in my own code. I guess let's go back to the parser. Some things should be breaking. Yeah, okay. Some things definitely are breaking. The way I was thinking about rewriting this was we get rid of parse atoms and then we just make them as we go from the parse tokens. So we can get rid of that. That will break a lot of things, which is expected. So we can get rid of this, I guess. Yeah. And then we just want parse tokens. I'm gonna push back. Yeah, we want to push back. What's it called? In string? Yeah, we can do that. And then we can also do something similar to this as well. Yeah, and then we're gonna need to like rewrite all of these at least. Yeah, we also I think we'll need a helper to make an identifier of some sort, I think. Because if we have something that's just like a generic item, we don't know if we want to make an identifier out of it or if we want to make a whatchamacallit. If we want to make an identifier or if we want to make a like number out of it. Because they go into like a very specific unique pointer, so yeah, because then we have to like deal with like this ugly stuff. Actually, I think we can cast one direction but not the other, right? Yeah, we can upcast, but we can't downcast, I think. If this looks right. So we can yeah, this should be fine actually. Yeah, we can cast to something less specific. So yeah, we can reuse this at least. Yeah, let's. I think the rest of this we might just have to leave for now. Or we should. No, we shouldn't. We should change it. Or maybe we should attach a like an enum to this or something. Yeah, because this is really annoying. I feel like we should just get rid of most of these. We can get rid of that, and then we can also do the types at the same time. Right. Yeah, because it seems a little bit repetitive to have another thing with it. So we can do it like that. What's wrong here? I think we need like helper functions as well for this. So this is necessary, I think. We need this somewhere here. Yeah, this is fine. Yeah, so we need those two. I think parse tokens. We also need an enum. Class. We want token. I forgot how I define these. We just do like identifier, binary op, number, and type, I think, right? So we want number, identifier. We want type, and we want binary op. Right? And then, okay, cool. So we can do it like this. And then we want to change this to a pair of. This should be token type, I guess. can do stood string and then token type. There we go. So this is like just the stack of tokens. And then we can push things onto it. We need to fix things that we push onto it real quick. In place back. Yeah, we need this. I think, yeah, parsed atoms doesn't exist anymore. We don't need to worry about that. This makes sense. We need to do that. Okay. Just keep changing these things. So we want this, and then we want token type. It's a number, so we give it number. Alright, we don't have in place back, right? I swear. Huh. Yeah, I don't think in place. I thought in place back doesn't exist though, right? This is crazy. Okay, yeah. Let's use pushback. And let's surround this again. Okay. So that's number. This is identifier. This should be binary hop. And then one more for type. The idea here is that, like, or like bigger picture, the way I'm gonna try and rewrite symbol table from here, I'm just gonna like keep writing things until I need a feature from symbol table, and then once I need it, that's when I'm gonna implement it. Yeah, I call this like a little bit of wish list programming, because it's like I put it on my wish list, and then once it's on, like after that, I just call it a day. Yeah, so now we want, I think we can leave this at least. Yeah, so we can do this. This is fine. Do like this. I think the braces we don't really need to change much yet. I think we need to wait for symbol table to become more consolidated. Down here we're gonna need to make a little bit of a mess. Okay, so we want, so back doesn't really exist anymore. So we want unique footer of type atom identifier equals okay, so what's on the declaration again? Where's the type in here? I feel like we need a type in here, right? No, because we don't process it like that anymore. Okay. Okay, so we want the declaration should have three things. It should have a type, it should have a name, and then it should have a value, I guess? Or no, it should just have a variable. Okay. Yeah, so then our items still have types encoded, so we can actually just we can make this. It should be variable. This is res second, and then we want to make scoped identifier. And then, oh, this also needs a type. Yeah, that's what I'm missing here. So we need type, string symbol, and then scope. Actually, I don't like typing first. I'm quite picky. Okay. Yeah, okay, cool. So now we need to give it in. We don't have in anymore, right? So we want to make scope identifier. We want what do we want? We want variable. So variable token. So this is parse tokens back, and then parse tokens. I'm gonna pop back. That's fine. So we want this, and then we also want type token. We want that. And then from here we can just like make everything, I think. Actually, do we even need these to be like pairs? Did I just like over-engineer it for no reason? Wait, no, I still need that, I think, for like expressions later. I'll worry about that later, but yeah. How long did it take you to know how to code? I think it took me a year to like sort of get the hang of like what I was doing, but it took me up until like, actually no, I'm still learning how to be like actually good at writing code at least. We got type token first, right? Right, no. We want variable token first. Then we want str to type. And we want to pass in variable. I know, we want type token first. And then we want scope. Active scopes back. Or a reference to it, I guess. Right? Oh. This is the wrong. Here, this one? I want add. Okay, and then this needs to be a reference. Initialize paratype type unique putter. Oh. Back. Get, I think. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so we can do that now. We can downcast that, so that's fine. Okay, perfect. So this is what the new pile is gonna look like. I don't particularly like it actually, but I think it's kind of necessary because we're gonna need to like parse literal things, I think, at some point. We're gonna need to do like operator precedence parsing in some way. Right? Are we? No, no, we're not. No, what am I saying? Yeah, we're not gonna need to. Right? Wait. If we're given a... I guess like the assignment is the thing that I'm scared of here. Because if we're given a number, we're gonna need to process that differently. I guess we can try keeping it though. So we can steal that. Let's go down here. Alright, we should steal these. We want value token. Yeah, so we can get rid of those. Can stop making a mess out of this, I think. Yeah, because we need to handle value. We could also just like do make value even. Right. We should make a helper, I think. Yeah, we should get a helper. Yeah, so we want a unique putter of type Atom generically. And then this should be, what do we call this? Yeah, this is all going to fall apart really quickly once we get expressions, I think. And just like parse value. And let's give it like I'm like using token type, the token equals the pair of its string, and then token type this. Let me change this to using parsing. Yeah, okay. Maybe we put this at the top. Yeah, okay. This is fine, this makes sense, this makes sense, this makes sense. Okay, this should take in token, token reference, I guess. I don't want to copy things. Actually, we can make this a little bit clean. We can switch on this even, and then we can handle everything with parse value, I think, which will. Oh, I lied. That doesn't work. Yeah, because we want to return a unique pointer of Adam anyway. So, case number. We don't even need to switch here. So if it's a number, then we can instead make unique of type Adam identify literal. So then this will take. Oh, we have to give it a type as well. I wrote out like how I wanted to handle this, I think. There's so much complexity in the parser. I'm like really annoyed here now. Ah, god damn it, god damn it. Okay. Okay. What am I even doing here? I feel like I've made literally zero progress because I don't have any idea what the... I don't know how, like, I don't have a clean picture of what this implementation is supposed to look like. How do we parse numbers properly? God damn it. I'm quite out of... I thought I had a really good plan going into this, but it always gets tripped up on something. So this shit's hard. This shit's really hard. I'm quite lost. let's change this to use, I think. Yeah, because we want to, because uses will be treated differently than, right. Fuck. Yeah, I'm quite winded. I don't really know what to do. I thought this would be like a fast and simple change. I thought it through all the way. But I guess there's always things I just haven't considered. Okay. Let's see what ChatGPT suggests for how does I guess, what is the question? How does Clang determine what type a parsed number is? Long, int, short. Okay, well, that I guess makes sense. So we just try to fit it into the largest thing we can, I guess. Everything is signed though. God damn it, I hate this. Type systems are hard. Type systems are ruining my life. I can't believe I'm saying this, but type systems are ruining my life. I didn't expect types to be nuking me so hard, of all things. I don't know why. We might just have to say no to types and just stick to 32-bit. This is like really way beyond my depth right now, at least, I think. Anyone in chat have any thoughts on how I should handle these? Do I keep bonking my head against the wall trying to figure out types, or do I just assume that everything is in 32? In 32 so I can like make main work at least. Okay, I'm gonna make everything in 32. Unless anyone like objects, I'm gonna make everything in 32. That will also save a lot of headache in the symbol table as well, because then we don't have to worry about that test case as much, I think. We still need to worry about it, at least in some degree, right? Actually, do we? I don't think we do. Yeah, because then we don't need to store type, and then that like absolves all of our problems because it's just treated as a separate use. Okay, perfect. Okay. Okay, let's try. Let's just nuke everything. Can't believe it. Okay. We don't need to store type info, so we get to revert a bunch of changes. I've made literally 0 progress across the past 100 minutes, which is unfortunate, but I think I will need to revert a bunch of changes. Yeah, we can get rid of type here. I think, right? Because, yeah, okay. Yeah, because these will all just be the same type implicitly. Alright, we're gonna do some reversion. Man. Yeah, this is not an ideal way to have ended up spending the day, but I mean, you win some, you lose some, you know. Okay, get rid of that now. I still want to clean up the parser a little bit, but it'll just look a little different, I guess. Man, okay. Okay, so we don't have types anymore in that. We can get rid of most of these. We don't need the label type anymore. Yeah, we can do that. What's wrong here? Get rid of more of these types. Yeah, I can't lie, I'm a little bit tilted, but I guess I have to deal with that, so oh well. I guess this whole thing has just turned into a complete front-end rewrite anyway, so yeah, yippee. I suspect I'm not gonna need this anymore then if I'm not doing types. Yeah. Yeah, we're not gonna need like we're not gonna need the compare operators, I think, anymore. Actually, no. We still can implement them in some way, I think. They will just be really awkward. How does C do comparison operators? This is... yeah. This is quite annoying. So what's the return type? If Boolean isn't like base, right? Oh, it's just an int. Okay. Well, that actually makes things a lot less messy, to be honest. Yeah, because then I can clean this up a little bit, I think. Yeah, we can get rid of the comparator operators even, and make just make everything a daemon. This is mostly just a sanity choice for me because I fear this project will take up way too much of my mental bandwidth and way too much of my time if I don't just limit this down, unfortunately. But yeah, this still gives us a lot of good stuff to work with, so I'm quite happy with that. Yeah, we can still extend out operators at least. I think okay, I think all these are good. narrow scope of front-end utils. Not doing types anymore. Need to format. Okay. So I guess while I'm at it, I may as well clean up the everything, to be honest. The header is still fine. I think most of this is kind of alright. We need to clean up the AST again because well, we have a separate type now again. We need to add back types to these. Well, now. Yeah, we need to add back types. Which is fine, it's just a lot of undo. Yeah, okay. So we also need to undo here, I think. Bap. We can add types back. Yeah, okay. And this should also fix everything here. Yeah, this change was a little bit... This change really sucks to make because, like, I thought I had, like, a great idea, and I had, like, so many ideas for actually implementing types. But it's just, like, there's enough of a headache, and it focuses way too little on what I actually want to learn from this project that I don't think it's really worth doing, unfortunately. So we will have to simplify things down once again. Yeah, okay. So we undid those changes. We want to add types back here. We want to add types back here. Okay. This was all very poorly planned out on my end. That's my fault. Okay, back to the parser. Most of this is fine. I think we want to... I still want to clean up a little bit of this stuff. Yeah. Trying to think if there's a better way to handle these instead of having like 3 separate places that all of these live in. I kind of liked the idea of atoms just existing within tokens as well, and then just making them on the fly. I did like the idea of like an atom builder. Yeah. With like a symbol table as well. I might actually do that. That sounds quite nice. Because I don't have to like pass as much random shenanigans around. Yeah. Okay, well... Let's see. We have to undo the changes pretty much. Yeah, okay. So let's just go back to an old commit I think that will be the fastest way to deal with this. Yeah, this was a mistake. This is very much a mistake. Yeah, this is forever ago, so I think we should revert to this at least. We want to open this, I think. I guess we could use this as a chance to do some cleanup work, right? This is very ugly. I don't particularly like this. We should still keep parse tokens. And then we just make the atoms as we go. Yeah. And I think yeah, I think this is fine. We're actually, I guess everything's in int32 anyway, so like, it seems a little bit silly. We could add void types, that might not be hard. Or we could just make everything and call it a day. I don't know. Yeah, maybe we don't need to keep track of types then, to be honest. We can add it back eventually. Yeah, okay. Let's just do it like this for now. The very lazy way. I can get rid of this, I fear. Yeah, let's just do it like this. Yeah, let's make it like this. We don't need the type anymore here. Man. Yeah, so this number is simple. Identifier might make a mess. I guess while we're at it, we can at least modify symbol table. What's good, Yante? I had a plan to make types work and then I made a mess. And I've decided that types are just more trouble than they're worth. And I'm making everything in int now. So, unlucky, I guess. Unlucky outcome of this situation. Maybe one night when I get like really inebriated or something, I will decide that types are all of a sudden worth having again. Yeah, we can do it like this. We can get rid of that as well. I think we can just start from scratch, at least on the symbol table end. Okay. Okay. Let's make this a thing. This just takes ID. Let's just have a stud unique putter. Does each function have its own control flow graph? Yes. But we have like this non-SSA like AST thing at the top, and I just kind of gave up on types for that, to be honest. It was making too much of a mess. I just I just said fuck it. And it makes me a little bit sad, but I mean, it is what it is. We want to include what again? Util atom? Yeah. So we want to make unique pointer of atom identifier. We want to make identifier. Actually, no. Maybe I should just have like a builder class. That like manages a little bit of the shenanigans. Okay, we're going back to my original implementation. We've made 0 progress whatsoever. Add symbol. We've actually made like negative progress. This is crazy work. So we got res, second, add symbol, and string. To scope symbol is like the dumbest thing I've made, to be honest. Because we can just assemble that externally. So like, what's the point? Okay. We have get symbol. I don't think we need this, to be honest. Or no, we need that. I think we just need this little pile. We don't need ID to type. Yeah, because types are not tied to this anymore. I'll fix the implementation later. Okay, so this seems reasonable. Jesus, this is awful. Okay. So let's go back to symbol table, at least, before I made the changes. There's like a joke to be made about like git blame here. I could like git blame something and then the person to blame would be myself. Everyone's favorite git blame joke. Anyway, enough negativity. What's the history on this? Oh wait, we can just copy this one, to be honest, I think. Yeah, symbol table's been pretty stable, so. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we can do this. Yeah, we can make this a little bit cleaner. We can get rid of toString at least, because that one was bugging me a little. This is all fine. We can change this out to symbol to ID contains symbol. Yeah, okay. To scope symbol is a little bit silly. We can get rid of that. Okay, cool. So that I think cleans up a lot of the slush. Binary op we kind of have to deal with right now, at least. Once we get like expressions, I think this will clean up a little bit, but until then we kind of have to make it ugly. This is fine. This is fine. Okay, this is where things changed a little. This is all right, I think. Oh wait, there's actually a good argument to avoid splitting up parse tokens and parse atoms. It's this like this weird re-dynamic cast thing, like this back dot release thing. Instead of having to like deal with that, it's just less ugly if I whatchamacallit, if I just push back the thing, I guess. But then I need to like keep an enum as well of like what the type is, I think. And that seems like a lot of work right now, at least for today's scope, so I will just leave it as this. What do you think about oh wait, there's the message about that. I finally got my Steam thinks I'm logging in from LA. Yeah, you're like halfway across the world, right? Like that's quite crazy. What do you think about compiler rule in MATLAB? Yeah, that is something I'd be interested in. I applied to their intern position, haven't heard back yet because in this day and age we do not expect to hear back from companies anymore, I guess, which really sucks, but it happens. When are you going to get into C#? That's something I think I'll start looking at, I think this upcoming weekend. This actually annoys me way more than I thought it would. Okay, we're gonna do the thing. We're gonna make the enum. So we have parse tokens. This should be so we need enum class token type. So we're just throwing a lexer at this again, which is really funny. We have number, literal, and then we have, oh wait, that's the same thing. Identifier, and then we have operator. So we can do that, and then using results. Actually, this goes in here. It just occurred to me. Types are all of a sudden a little bit more stupid. I think I still want to have them around in case I want to do anything with them, but for now I fear they might just look a little bit like a vestigial class. So we want a token equals the pair of string and then token type. And we want to change this to token. And yeah, okay. So we can do it like that. Let's change these out. I might need these at some point, but actually, do we need them? I don't think so. We'll just have a little helper to deal with that. Let's push back. in string, and then token type. This is a number. And down here, we can do the same thing here. Let's replace this with identifier. And down here, we can replace this with binary op. Operator. Yeah, let's just rename it real quick. So we might add unary ops. I don't think that's out of scope whatsoever. Yeah, that might be a good start. And then we can do like some sort of precedence parsing later. I'm not that concerned about that yet, but it'll be an active consideration. So yeah, okay. Alright, we can clean this up again. This really ugly thing. So this needs type int, unfortunately. This will be directly made, I think, mostly. Yeah. Yeah, so we can. We need a helper function as well here. We want to unique putter of type. Oh, this doesn't get around the problem. No, wait, no, it does. It gets around it. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So this atom. This is parse value token is what I'm going to call this. So we want to give it token. So we want token type. So if it's a number, then we need to do the really funky thing. Or no, this one's straightforward. We can stood make unique of type. Oh wait, no, this doesn't work. How have we gone in a circle again? I keep going in circles. Okay. So we're gonna undo these changes again. I think I've undone things like 5 times today, but it's just kind of doomed, to be honest. Let's change this to using again, because that's more consistent with everything else we do. Let's just wrap the logic for downcasting in a less ugly outfit. Yeah, let's do it like this. Or we could even encapsulate a lot of these individual operations to make it cleaner. Okay. This is gonna sound insane, but I'm actually about to like redo the changes once again, I think. To some degree. It'll be a little bit less messy. I think we will just have a helper function for like each token type. But we're just gonna skip the enum altogether, and we're just gonna assume that we have the correct types at least. And I think that's the least bad of both worlds. I promise this is the last time I go back on this though. This is so messy. Do that. Do that. Okay. This is fine. Declaration. Alright. Here's my plan. We have a couple of like build from token functions here that we want. Yeah, so we want unique putter of type atom. Or atom identifier. Build identifier. And then that will do something. We will have a generic atom type, so it's just atom unique putter, and then yeah, and that avoids like the weird downcasting mess that we'd have to deal with. Because if it's an identifier, we just build it on the spot. And then the final one, I think, is... Or you can just like pop, I guess, would be the way we think about this. Yeah, so then the last one is just binary op pop bin op, I guess. Yeah, okay. And then we can steal a lot of logic from down here, which will hopefully make things a little bit less annoying. Yeah, okay. So we can clear out a lot of this, I think. Variable is the, what do we want? Pop identifier? And then what's wrong here? What type is this? This is identifier. Okay. Okay, so now we need to give this a type int, and we can do that. Or we can even pop, no, we need the order to be deterministic, so we have to do it like this. Okay, I think I should implement this real quick. Yeah. How do we tell what is what? How do we tell if this is a number? Am I gonna have to do this stupid thing again? Oh no. Okay. We're gonna do the stupid thing again. We're gonna redo the, oh my god. This is, I just keep going back and forth. We actually keep going back and forth. This is terrible. I hope this is a sane decision. Yeah, we still need that because I don't see a good way of making just generic atom from it. Yeah. Because we're gonna need to make unique in a... Yeah, we're gonna need to do things. Yeah, okay. Where do we make the symbol table at all? We should probably have like a global symbol table. Yeah, we can just do it like this, I think, right? I can do it like this. Does this need a constructor? I don't think we need it explicitly, right? Let's just throw it in a unique pointer, right? Yeah, and then we can also change this ugly thing as well. What's good, Ferris? Welcome to the stream. I am like slowly losing my sanity, trying to figure out what I'm even doing with the parser right now. Things are like slowly starting to make sense though, so I guess that's a good sign. We don't have parsed atoms anymore. We can do this. Actually, we don't need that anymore. What am I doing? H? Yeah. Does this work? Okay, that does work. Stood vector, st function. Yeah, we can just do like that, I think. Alright. This obviously breaks, but that's to be expected. Yeah, okay. A lot of other things are still broken. We'll fix them up as we go. We want symbol table equals make unique. That's good. Yeah. So then we can stood move res. That, and then the move symbol table. Okay. So many band-aid fixes all at once, but we're figuring it out slowly. Yeah, this might just be a really long stream, I'm not gonna lie, at this rate. had to clear some things real quick. Yeah, so we have these. I'm gonna do the thing in a second. The thing that I was gonna do. I'm just cleaning the rest of this up real quick. Okay. Let's make the thing. Let's make the gross, yucky token type. So this should be, we have number, identifier, and then binary op. Okay, like that. And then we need using. We want token to equal pair of split string token type. Yeah, so that cleans that up, and then we can change this to be token. Yeah, so then this makes implementing these a little bit less awful, because then we can also do a little bit checking. So if parse tokens back second is not or we don't even need to do like checking proper right now. We can just do type number. We need basic checks here just to figure out which of like what we return. But we don't need to like do correctness checks because the parser kind of handles that for us. So we can return make unique of type atom literal? Literal. And this takes in just we need stole. And this takes in parse tokens back. That's like do this at least. Do it like that. And do that. We should probably just make a copy, I think, right? Because we need to pop back as well, right? Oh, actually no. Does pop back C++ pop back invalidate pointer or reference? Yeah, okay. So it does invalidate it, so we kind of have to just make a copy here. So if it's successful, then we can parse tokens, pop back, and then we can return that. Otherwise, it's a identifier. We need to do some interesting stuff here. We need symbol table. We need to add symbol and give it back first. Arrow. Okay. We could probably clean this up even more. We want like type, or no, type is second. What do we call this? The str, I guess. Oh no, this is type. We can just, this is readable, right? I hope this is readable. Or at least more readable. Okay. We've definitely made more of a mess, but... Oh, right, we need to... There we go. There we go. Perfect. That seems fine. We could probably just throw this here as well. Anyways, let's get rid of all of the work we went through to just make this readable, and then throw it in a fucking ternary operator so it's completely unreadable. There we go. Now it's completely unreadable, which is perfect for what we're trying to do here. Okay. So we can do that. Pop identifier, we can steal these two. We can even just steal all of this, I think. Get rid of that. Wait, this is the wrong one. Atom identifier. Aww. Why are these incompatible? Aww, that really sucks. Okay, we actually have to... We need to do this thing again. Okay, well, we will have to do with that, I guess. Unfortunate. Truly unfortunate. Okay, so we have that, and then we can just... We can do that, steal this again. You can return str to type at parse token val. Oh, str to binary op. Whoops. Yeah, we don't need str to type anymore. Unfortunately. Or fortunately. I don't know. It's kind of nice not having to do anything. Okay, so now we can make things a little bit less awful, I think. So we can replace all of this with that. And then pop atom for value. What am I missing here? This needs type int. Start streaming way before schedule? I mean, I'm supposed to start at like 7 locally. Or 7 local to my time. Which is when I started streaming, so I mean, yeah. Wait, I should probably add type as well. Local viewer, thank you. Hopefully you're doing alright as well. Okay, I've got this. So we need to make a little bit more of a mess out of here, I think. We just need variable and value. Okay, this gets a little bit ugly, but I think we've reduced the amount of work we need to do here. So this is right, this is correct, left, and then up, in, off. We don't need that, we don't need that. Okay. Yeah, look at how much this simplifies our code, actually. It's quite nice. I'm enjoying this. We can steal this. Call, I think, just needs a identifier? Yeah. So this is target. Is your hair dyed or is it just the camera? Yes, it is dyed purple. It looks a little bit reddish because I haven't been maintaining it quite as well as I should, but yeah, it's supposed to be purple. Steal this value. Okay. Alright. If we need a okay. Oh, wait, we need to like pop instruction, actually. Or pop scope? That's crazy, actually. I didn't realize that's a thing that we needed to abstract out. Yeah, let's do... yeah, let's do it like that, actually. Let's do... yeah, we need AST scope. This is... wait. Unique putter of scope. Pop scope. Or pop instruction, right? Yeah, pop instruction. What do we need to do for this? Yeah, we need to abstract this out for this at least. this might be useful, at least to make things less ugly. Okay, so call is done, we need the if now. This one should be just value, I guess, or cond, I guess is what we call it. We also want auto T branch. Let's pop instruction. Okay, so we can do that. And then let's steal these two. I think I stole it from here, which is why it's missing the false branch, but that's not much of a change to make. Yeah, this substantially shrinks down the way my code, or the amount of slush I have to write in the code, which is quite useful if I do say so myself. So we can get rid of that now. Okay, and now we don't have back anymore. We need to pop name. This is an identifier. This is fine. We do just need to get the scope. This needs a type as well, I think, right? Maybe I should just make like hop scope as well while I'm at it. I think that might be a good readability change. Yeah, let's do it like that. Yeah. I can do it like that. And then type will always be type int. Heartbreakingly, it will always be int. Res is not first anymore, it just has res. Okay. So now what's wrong here? Oh, right. This is a unique pointer now. Okay, what changed here? We cleaned up the symbol table logic. What's this compiler for? It is a compiler for from C to x86, but I haven't gotten to the backend yet. So right now it's just C to an intermediate language. That's kind of just, we're slowly chugging along. Right now I'm like cleaning up a mess that I made last time because I tried to add more types and then it turns out types are really, really hard to add. So I ended up just giving up on types for now. But yeah. With that came a lot of changes and a lot of mess I need to clean up. So I'm cleaning up the mess right now. Right, parser for types reversion plus general cleanup. Yeah, not even structs and type defs. Just like if you have like an arbitrary like just some random number, like what type do you parse it as? And then like how do you handle two different variables that have different types but the same identifier in parallel scopes? There's just like so much mess that needs to be dealt with, and it's just a little bit out of scope right now, I guess, is what we will call it. What's good, Rafi? Haven't seen you in a while. Yeah, I've been streaming for like 2.5 hours now. I have made like roughly 20 minutes of progress across this whole time, so yeah, unlucky. Are compilers more C driven or C++ driven? I guess kind of both. Like, LLVM is written mostly with C++, but it has like it has some parts that mirror C a lot. For most languages, usually their compilers are just written in whatever source language they use. So like, the Rust compiler up to the part where it just calls LLVM is written in Rust. I think like the OCaml compiler is written in OCaml. I could be thinking of like the wrong language, but yeah, generally like a lot of languages just use the source language. Yeah. Let's see. What do I need to change again? I need to unique footer the symbol table. Actually, there's a lot of stuff here that I want to make less of a mess out of. Yeah, let's just give it the... Actually, we can just like give it a footer, right? I've heard some people saying LLVM's an utter mess. Yeah, it kind of is. It's either poorly documented or just completely not documented in some parts. And that's kind of inevitable just because of how large it is, but I guess we don't really have anything better, and it's also quite useful to have a lot of infrastructure for, so I mean, I can't really complain too much. What am I doing again? The constructor for something. Program. This one. This is a std unique footer of symbol table. Okay, so this should be unique footer symbol table. Need to change the constructor. This is the unique footer. Okay. Yeah, unique pointers are so nice. Yeah, we need a reference to that. And that, I guess. Yeah. That needs to be a reference. We can just make this symbol table. Okay. Okay. So here we can just pass down .git, I think. Right? Oh, do these just need... Oh. Symbol, table, at. So let's... Symbol, table, reference, let's replace it with symbol, table, footer. 2 changes. Okay, this seems workable. Do the same thing here, I think. What needs to change there? This needs to be a footer, I think? No, this is a new symbol table, right? No, we need to give it a footer. Yeah. What's wrong here? What the fuck? Some bootstrapping themselves after a while like Zig. Yeah, exactly. I've had to catch up on tapping side zone out in streams. Yeah, I mean, fair enough. I've been moving kind of fast and just doing a whole lot of stuff, so I don't blame you for that. I've also kind of gotten lazy with like timestamping things. I wanted to like do something about that, but it's just like really dry to spend like an hour of my time just scrubbing through my old streams and just like adding timestamps, and like that really sucks. So yeah, I've been avoiding that. I'll try to get back on it, but no guarantees. Is LVM better than GCC? It's definitely easier to contribute to and I guess extend off of, I think. Whether it's like strictly better in terms of like performance is open to interpretation, I think. What do you think about animations in immediate mode UIs? Not familiar with the terminology, so I can't really say too much about it, unfortunately. What's going wrong here? What? Two-string visitor? Why is this borked? Why is this borked? Maybe in program I have to pass it down as like a get, I guess. Maybe two-string? The hell? I don't understand why this is working. The oh. Right? So this is at the function level. So it's already given symbol table. So it should just be able to... wait. Wait a second. Utils, atom, this takes a ref. That's, okay, well, that's kind of valid. Getting late for me, good night. Yeah, take care, man. Thanks for showing up to the stream. Do you intend on working for the JET compiler? Possibly. I'll take anything, to be honest, low-key. Any semblance of a compiler role. just all this stuff is really cool to me, so I'd like to work on it in any capacity possible. Let's undo that change. Just take a reference. Can I ask why you're looking for a compiler role? Because I like compilers. What got you interested in compilers in general? I think around like 2 years ago now, I took our university's compilers course because one of my friends was like, I'll take it if you take it, and then I took it, and then it turns out I really enjoyed it because the stuff was interesting, there was a lot of depth, and I felt like it just combined a lot of different subfields of computer science in a way that I didn't really see anywhere else, so I thought it was like really cool. Then I like reached out to the professor and asked if I could start doing research, and yeah, I guess the rest is history from there. I guess, like, even despite the research stuff I've done, I feel like I've only really scratched the surface, so, I guess part of why I'm working on this project right now is to get a more holistic understanding of everything that goes into engineering compilers. What is wrong here? Oh. Can we convert this? Okay, well I guess that has to be a pointer. Fuck. Man. Okay. Well, you know, that's okay. Can we just do that? Are you still in school? Yes, I am working on my undergrad, or my bachelor's and my master's concurrently. Yeah, let's make these substitutions. We might just have to deref every time, which is annoying, but that's fine. How much external work do you have to do after or during the course to get to where you are now? During the course, I feel like I kind of just followed along. It was a quite intense course. It was like 20 hours of work a week on average, but it sort of like slowly ramped down across the quarter, which was nice. Afterwards, I think most of the work I did just came from like just like all the stuff I've done on stream, but also like just reading docs when I got confused on implementing something, because I'm quite good at getting confused, it turns out. So yeah. That's kind of the whole process as it went. Okay, the C++ file is fine, the header is fine, this is fine, this is fine. Okay. Okay, so I can't make yet because I need to fix everything else. Can I just like undo all the changes here? I can do that. Do that now. This needs a type, I think, still? Yeah, we still need to give it type. This needs type as well, I think, right? Yeah, we still need type. Yeah, okay. So keep going. Oh god. Okay, we need to re-architect the visitor here. Because we can't really... Yeah, we have to do that. Do we make a new table? No, we don't. We should just pass in a pointer, I think. Yeah, because we should make a unique pointer for it anyway. So if that... we need to deref that now. Right? Yeah, we need to deref that now. What's wrong here? Yeah, we need to change this. Are you serious? Oh, wait. No, this is fine. Okay. Expected to? What? Oh. Right. Yeah, we got types again. Let's throw in God damn it. God damn it. Okay, we need to fix these, I think, as well. While we're at it, let's just reorder things so that this is, like, not frickin' miserable to use. Let's throw the visitor at the bottom. Let's put that all up here. Can we, like, simplify this a little either? In any degree? Please? Gee, I hope I can make this less ugly. There's just so much mess here. Because I was writing this back before I like actually knew what I was doing. So the consequences of that are very substantial, for better or for worse. Yeah, this code is quite ugly, I will say. It's way uglier than I would like it to be. We have clear result, we need that. Okay. We need that. We don't add type when we add symbol anymore. That's fine. This is fine, we don't need that anymore. Yeah, we need these two separate ones anyway because we can't really downcast. So we can do it like that. We don't need to type anymore. We don't need to type anymore. We don't need to type anymore because I made wonderful decisions. Man, how naively happy I was. This is fine, this is fine. And This is fine, I think. This is fine, I think. And these are fine? Yeah, those are fine to declutter. Unfortunately, everything is a fucking mess, but what can you do? Okay. What's wrong now? Okay. This is an arrow now. Do I want to just hardcode type here? Or wait, no, we don't have type anymore, silly. Okay. Okay, we need to deref old table. We don't need type anymore. Jeez. It feels like I'm just reading through spaghetti code. Old table needs to be derefed again. We don't need type anymore. Old table needs to be derefed again. Yeah, this is all looking very familiar, huh? Yeah, this seems reasonable. These two seem inevitable. Yeah, we can do it like this. Oh, Jesus Christ. We don't have type again. We don't have type again. We don't have type again, let alone a label type anymore. We don't have label type again. Let's keep going. We need to deref old table again. This doesn't have a type anymore. This is just 0. And isn't it nice how 0 is just 0 now? Anyone else happy by that one? Just me? No? Okay. Okay. What's wrong here? We need this. Get. We need this. Make unique. Type symbol table. And get these. So ref. This is a dot. We need to deref again? Yeah. Okay. Yuck. Should move this again. This needs to be a deref. Yeah, we need to mess with HIR again. So we're using a unique pointer. Haha. Because I'm unique and special, like a pointer. Did I change these to use... No, I did this, right? We gotta do an AST again. Okay. Alright, AST to support symbol table unique footer. Yeah, these are all footers. These are all footers now. Yippee. Do that. Alright, time to start dereffing again. Why is this broken? I need to deref that? Oh. Wait. This is AST, we want HIR header. This needs to be a footer. Yeah, okay. This needs to be a unique footer, a symbol table type. Why is this borked? Oh, this is not a unique footer. This needs to be dereffed again. Wait, what? Why doesn't it need to? Git? There we go. So the dereffed. Seems to dereffed, deref, deref. Deref. Yeah, you will be hearing me say this word a lot, for better or for worse. Would this have been avoided altogether with smarter design? Absolutely. Is it something that I want to worry about right now? Not really. So we're gonna worry about that some other time. I think the instructions are fine though. Those always seem to be alright. So AST to HIR. What the hell? Okay, so this we definitely need to move. Why is that not working? Program takes... Oh, I see why it's not working. Unique footer. Okay, that fixes that one. Now we need to fix the implementation here. Oh, whoa. Okay. This needs a move. It could be worse. Every time I think that it's awful putting an asterisk every other line, I remind myself it's better than writing stood move every other line. Which is something that I have done once before. For a similar purpose, and similar ends, I will say. So, it's not beyond me to do that. Okay. I think all of this is fine now. This is not fine, but that's expected. We've made a mess out of the functions, so. So this we will call update HIR to use unique footer symbol table. AC to HIR fixed. And then we have to clean a little bit more stuff up. Type here is a little bit boring now all of a sudden, but I honestly think we can kind of just keep this. Like, it doesn't hurt to have. We might use it in the future if we were to hypothetically extend the type system out. Whether through this language or through like another front end or something. It definitely doesn't hurt, I will say. Because it's kind of isolated. What does hurt, though, is dealing with this god-awful function again. Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay. So we can just make this get type. Right? Yeah, we added that back. This dot get. Uh-oh. Okay, this is like piss ugly, I'm not gonna lie. I really hate this line, but is there a better way to do this? I guess not, huh? That's quite funny. We have to get the pointer. We have to get the raw pointer from the. Oh my god. So we have to get the raw pointer from the shared pointer, and then we have to deref that raw pointer that came from the shared pointer. What an incredible line of code right here. Okay, we don't have type there anymore. Yeah, this should just be hard-coded, I think. Let's just do type. It's like mir type. Let's make this I32. And then if we ever decide to add types back, which I really hope for my own sake that I don't do, this will let me remember this, at least. Yeah. So we need this regardless, I think. Yeah. Let's make this type as well. Actually, we could do this as to_mir and then type int, I guess. It's a little bit less ugly, I think. This doesn't exist anymore, but we can to_mir this, type int. We can do the same thing down there. Yeah, let's just steal that, I guess. Actually, does this have a... No, this doesn't have a type. We have to paste this here, I think. Then one more time? Okay. So that's fine. The header doesn't yell at me. Let's try building again. Amazing there's people who are still interested in compilers? Yeah. I feel like the number will go up as time goes on because, oh my god. Yeah, I think the number of people that are interested will go up just because we're starting to hit the point, at least in like a lot of places, where hardware is going from the trend of generalizing to the trend of specializing, and new hardware will naturally require new compiler support. What is broken here? Parsed functions. Front end parser. Oh, I think I missed something there. That might be it. What are you doing? I'm writing a compiler from C to x86. It's not going so well, if it wasn't obvious. But we're making the best of it as we go. In case y'all have just tuned in somewhat recently, the first 100 minutes of today's stream was me basically going back and forth on a previous design decision, and kind of just my code ended up being like just one giant undo traversal. I would write something and it'd be like, this sucks, and then I reset it, and then I was like, actually I need that again, so then I'd rewrite it from scratch again, and I was like, wait, no, this doesn't work, so then I delete it again, and then it was just that for like 100 minutes. Yeah, it is what it is, but yeah, I guess I'm here now. I guess I'm just still writing more code. Yeah, and just having a good time, I guess. Right now, so last time I tried to add types, but then I realized there was problems with like scopes, so I ended up saying no to types, and now I'm just making everything in int32 now. A little bit tragic, but it's probably for the best. This is a binary op. Ooh, okay. What's wrong? Oh yeah, we don't use cstudent anymore? I guess we don't. That's really useful, actually. That's really nice. Okay. Let's try building again. Okay, that's huge. And then it needs to do the same thing for debug, but that's fine. This will take a little bit longer for debug symbol reasons. I used to not have a debug build, and then it turns out I actually really enjoyed using a debugger when I tried it out. So, yeah, we've got debug builds now. Let's see if tests run. Okay, it's surprisingly functional. Scope handle diff types is no longer a valid test. Yippee. Yeah, okay, that's the only one that fails now, which makes me very happy. Okay, we can fix the test for that real quick. There's also like another really strange bug that I was running into last time when after parsing different types, it was like non-deterministically changing the order of some of my instructions in one of the tests, which is a little strange, but I guess that's no longer a thing. Let's run the little test gen script thing. Let's go here. Let's run it on input, and then, oh, I need to remove the thing from it, right? Scope. Yeah, we don't need this anymore. Let's change this. Let's change this to another actually useful type, or another useful test. Let's do reassign in parallel scopes. So this one we can just do int here. We can do int as well. This should handle properly if I did things correctly. Oh, right. Make test. I love C++ using competitive programming. Currently I'm working as a SWE in Python, but looking for C++ roles. HPC research experience, but no good personal project. I mean, you can always hop on the compiler train. I mean, I'm never gonna complain about more people in compiler land. Yeah, aside from that, let me think. What are other good projects? Honestly, just like anything, to be honest. You could probably like, yeah, I don't know, beyond compiler at least. You could always pull out the OS project. That one teaches you a lot. You could also like do, I guess like if you wanted to emphasize your HPC stuff, you could probably mess around with like parallelizing something, question mark. Yeah, I mean it's kind of awkward off the top of my head because the way I've always picked projects in the past is just like either something I'm like directly interested in or like or something that like solves a problem that I'm experiencing day to day. Yeah, so like either directly interested or just like something fun. And then like I also don't think it hurts just to like write it in C++ because like just because you can, like why not? And then you can like throw in like more parallelizing and then just like benchmark it and claim it has like near linear speed up and like call it a day or something. Yeah, apologies if that's like kind of a non-response, but that's kind of where my thought process on that lies. Oh yeah, so I have this little script that regenerates regression tests. It's very creatively named generate regression tests. It doesn't work for the optimizer IR because I haven't built that out to be, I guess, regression test extendable. So I have to do this by hand, unfortunately. So we're gonna go down here. We're just not gonna run passes. We're gonna make. And then we're gonna have to build bin panic. Let's run it on test, regression, input, scope. Let's dump it to test, regression, expected, scope.mir. Now if we build tests, it should pass all. Okay, perfect. What the hell do I do with this? What do I do with this pile? Let's do this first. Fix HR to MIR to work with sludge pile in the last 8 commits. And then let's go back here, we can undo that. And then now we can add all the tests. Okay, now we can push all 11 commits I made today. Holy hell. So much slush done. So much slush changed. And somehow the code quality, I think, has managed to go up as a result of me going back and forth on certain changes. Yeah, I guess my solution to types is to avoid implementing types. So, yeah, unlucky, I guess. Actually, there's one check, I think, in a constructor somewhere that I can get rid of now. Right? There's not an AST. Is it in here? Instruction? Has to be in here then. Yeah. Yeah, we don't really care about that. Okay, maybe we will keep this around in case. I might do a little bit of funky code gen. Yeah, that'll be a good start, I guess. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think that's a good place to end today's stream. It's been like 3.5 hours. Some of it frustrating, some of it satisfying, all of it equally rewarding at the end, I suppose. Yeah, thank you all so much for showing up to today's stream. If you're new here, I usually stream around when the LeetCode Daily resets every day, which is, I think, 7 o'clock Central Time. You can convert to your local time zone, or just do a couple of LeetCode Dailies and you'll know. Yeah, if you haven't already, make sure you sub to the channel and like the stream. It helps out with the numbers a lot, and it helps get my content promoted to more people. And while you're done there, make sure you join the Discord if you haven't. That's the best place to get notified when I go live, and if some stream time things shift around, that's the first place I'll post. And also you get to chat with the broader community, which is incredible. Everyone is quite cracked, and everyone's quite smart. Yeah, and while you're down there as well, you should connect with me on LinkedIn and add me on GitHub to stay up to date with what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm gonna make myself some dinner. I have not eaten since 4 o'clock, and that was my first meal of the day. So, yeah. Take care, y'all. Take it easy, and have a wonderful rest of your day.